Computer. Okay, cool. So there's a couple of newbies on this today. So like the purpose of these is usually you are all struggling with the same stuff in some way, shape, or form. So I like to sort of get you all together and share my wisdom. But what's great about stuff like this is you can all resonate with something in some way, shape, or form and take it into the next week. So if you have any questions or something resonates with you or something really stands out, use the chat or spike or chat up or just shout out loud. Don't really mind. But we're going to share a bit of stuff on mindset, some announcements for the week. I know these are a little bit low. This is a little bit low today in numbers, but the great thing about this is I'll record it and it'll be uploaded in the Facebook group for you to catch up on. So if you ever can't make it, that's fine. Just make sure when you do watch these back, just let me know, because then I know you've sort of caught up on things. So I like to start with a bit of a theme of the week. Okay, so I'm going to start with something which might trigger you, which is that you're all coasting, but bear with me. Okay, so before you all kick off and leave the room, so am I. Do you know what I mean? It's in our nature, okay, to take the path of least resistance. That's why, as humans, we've been alive for billions of years. We're not stupid. The problem now, however, is it's getting easier and easier to live. I think we'd all agree. Like the other day, we needed a pint of milk, and Steph nearly got someone from Deliveroo to send it across. I mean, I can see Morrison's from my house. Do you know what I mean? So, like, that's mad. But it's safe to say we didn't do that. I could not like let the Deliveroo guy come around, pay more probably for delivery than the pint of milk itself. But what happens is this mindset conditions us to take the easy route. Okay. But what's also ingrained in us is like to fight, okay, to test ourselves, to go outside our comfort zone. Like we love that feeling of adrenaline when we do stuff like that. Again, another reason why we've been alive as long as we have. The problem is now there's a bit of an imbalance. Like I'm going to share my screen. Who remembers this from, can you see my screen? Who remembers this from the start of your journey? Or maybe like there's some guys in here who've just started, so you might have just watched it. So it's quite fitting. Okay, so I think you can all probably remember. Let me get my chat up so I can see this. Probably all remember this. So this is like your journey that you're going to go through in this process. Okay, when you started this journey, okay, you did exactly that. You were absolutely buzzing. Okay, you stepped outside your comfort zone. And just remember how good you felt when you did that. Probably a little bit nervous as well. Probably like there's a few of you here now who feel exactly like that. You put the effort in, or will put the effort in to make that meal. You did that food shop. You didn't miss that training session, and you got results. Okay, but then like probably after a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, stage 2 hits, and then you realize that you've actually got to do this for the rest of your life. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you've actually got to keep these standards up. Okay. And things start to slip up a little bit because it's hard. Okay, maybe you didn't get the results that you got in the first couple of weeks and it slows down a little bit. So old habits creep back in. Okay, and the problem is we very quickly can slide into this, the valley of despair, stage 3. Okay, so let's pop it in the chat, like, or speak up or something. Who can relate to this right now? Either you don't have to be in the valley of despair right now, Lauren, yet. Like at some point throughout your journey, there's people who've been here for like, you're probably in the valley of despair now. That's why you started with me. But who has been in this or have been in this multiple times? Like I've got a membership there. Do you know what I mean? So I've been there for a long time. Guy, yeah. Come on, there's more of you on this call. Let's pipe up. Don't. Y'all have been, yep, exactly. Yep, y'all have just started like yesterday. So we'll give him a shout out afterwards. Anyone else? Francis, yep. Johnny, yep. Like Johnny, been here 12 months. And Amanda, yep. Amanda was in it last week and now she's out of it. Do you know what I mean? It's like you'll be James, yep. You'll be in it in and out of it multiple times. Okay. Until I give you a kick up the ass, basically. Okay. You sort it out and you potentially hit stage 4 here. Okay. Or in the past, you probably will have given up here. Do you know what I mean? and waited until the right time again because things got busy. You might have had a month off, but ultimately you will have gone to stage 1 again. You can't just start a journey and go straight to stage 4. You have to go through the stages again. But some of you might never have broken this stage. You might never have got past this, okay? Louise, who's not on this call at the moment, but when she started with me, she described being like it felt like she was on a merry-go-round. And I thought that was such a great analogy. Do you know what I mean? You're just always going through this process. And you're actually professional athletes at going through 1, 2, and 3. Do you know what I mean? You're really good at it. To the point that even speaking to me, or even if you're just starting with this, you probably felt a little bit skeptical. Like, fuck, I got to go through stage 1, 2, and 3 again and again and again. Do you know what I mean? If you do make it to stage 4, okay, you probably find some way, shape, or form you self-sabotage a little bit as you start to get a little bit scared. Do you know what I mean? So as a default, you go back to what you know best, okay, which is like stopping or leaving it till the right time. Equally, what you'll probably notice, this is why I thought I'd raise this, after your initial 3 months with me, when you're like buzzing and you got amazing results, like sometimes you can go back into stage 3 a little bit. So you're at stage 4, you got this transformation, you're like, wow. And then you're going to go back to stage 3 for a little bit. Do you know what I mean? The reality is, it's because this is the new you. Do you know what I mean? Let me just add Fraser in. This is the new you. You've never been at stage 4 before. So everything is a little bit uncertain. Okay. You constantly feel unsure and you have to put the work in. Just mute it, doesn't make it noise. They've done it themselves. You're constantly feeling unsure as you have to put the work in. Eventually, you feel a little bit exhausted, coupled with actually having a life as well. So you sack it off and disappear. Okay, like I'll be honest, that's why you see people come and go in this program, like because they're just not willing to put the work in. I'm not saying that's you guys because you're still here. Do you know what I mean? But if it was easy, like everyone would be doing it. Like I wouldn't have a job. So what I wanted to do today is like create awareness of this. Okay, there's a few new people who've just started who will actually go through this whole process. This is why I started. It's one of the first things I want you to watch before you start with me. And there are people who have been with me maybe 6 months, 12 months, 3 months, whatever, who are going through this now. Okay. Currently, like I'd say I'm a little bit of stage 3. I'm off the back of the rugby season. I always feel like this. Do you know what I mean? But being aware means you can plan. And if you plan, you can keep going. Like most people have given up now because of Christmas, and you guys aren't a statistic. That's why you're here. You're like the top percentage who haven't given up. So like give yourself some like compassion for that, be proud of that. But I can only create awareness if you let me make you aware. That's why these calls are great. Like some of you will catch up, some won't. But if you don't, you're not going to be aware, okay? And the people who don't come to these are the ones that will disappear eventually, or don't catch up on them. They will disappear eventually. Like the risk is you lose motivation because of a few reasons. Like number one, your goals aren't strong enough anymore. Like, let's be honest, like the reason you reached out to me originally is like the long-term fear that you might die as an extreme. Do you know what I mean? Like losing weight now isn't acceptable. Okay. You've lost that and you probably still feel a little bit the same, a little bit. So we need to go deeper. Like, why do you need to lose that weight? Like, who else is this impacting on if you don't do this? Like, what are the benefits of you staying exactly where you are? What are the consequences of you doing nothing? So we need to ask better questions now. It's not about weight loss, okay? Like, I know everyone here wants weight loss, but I also know it's more the feeling that you want when you get that result, okay? And that's why you sabotage your efforts with quick fixes. That's why you might find you do that. Things like takeaways, drinks and stuff when you shouldn't be. Options that like give you this short-term state where you feel really good, and then afterwards you're followed by guilt. But unfortunately, you know it's a very short-term fix. Another thing, we need to be crystal clear around your goal. Okay, like when are you going to achieve this by? Like, so when you started your initial 90 days with me, like the short-term goal was 90 days. Like, do you know what I mean? You were focused on that. But when you passed your 90 days, it's like, oh, I've got to do this for the rest of my life. Let's put another focus on the next 90 days. Like, when are you going to achieve this by? Like, how much exactly are you going to lose? Like, what actions are you exactly going to take to lose it? And last but not least, we need a driver, okay? Let's be honest, like you all lack motivation. like I do every day, okay? Because like I'm not a full-time athlete. I don't get paid to like do all this stuff. Well, I do, but to coach you guys, do you know what I mean? I don't get paid to train or anything. Like my driver is my rugby. That's over now. So it's now my half marathon. Like for Louise, who's not on here, for some mad reason, she's decided to do 3,000 squats in November. But the driver is that she's doing 3,000 squats in memory of her husband. Do you know what I mean? That's her motivator. For John, who's not on here, like it's walking up Snowdon next year. When he started with me, he couldn't even walk. For Johnny, who's on this call, and Tony, who's not here, like they're also doing half marathons with me. These are their drivers, okay? All these guys have hit low points in their journeys until they had a driver, okay? And as a byproduct, they will continue to lose weight. So unless you have a driver, a challenge, or like some sort of extrinsic motivation, okay, you're going to struggle for reasons. Like it needs to be a locked in deadline out of your control to get you up when you don't want to. Like, so my mission for those that sort of accept it, okay, is to ask yourself, like, why are you doing this? Like 5 times, like I want to lose weight. Why? Just keep digging, okay? In regards to the goal you want, to get a better goal, because it's not weight loss. Get crystal clear clarity on when this is happening. When are you going to achieve this by? Is it by Christmas? It's like 65 days till Christmas. And if you can find a driver that would make you incredibly proud but nervous, what is that driver? What are you going to buck in for something next year? Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if anyone wants to, I've rambled on here, but I don't know if anyone wants to sort of hold themselves accountable or like share their experience on this, or even ask if they maybe want help finding a direction. But now's the time to speak up or pop in the chat. Or just leave me struggling.
Yeah, like you said before, we're doing this half marathon. When I contacted you, I basically was getting very complacent, and we had a chat, didn't we? And then we were going through some things that could like help get that drive back, get that passion back, to willingness to work out a bit more. And basically, once we aim for something like doing the half marathon, like you said before, you get that buzz again, you get that excitement, you know, the purpose to try and go and work out again, and that really helped me. And so, because when I joined like last Christmas, the aim was to lose weight and get healthy, but obviously that started to improve, and then I just started getting complacent again. And then when we talked, that's sort of what went through last time. I'd go to the gym, lose a bit of weight, and then just stop, and it'd be like a vicious circle. So just like to share that with you.
Yeah, it's like stage 1, 2, and 3 again and again, isn't it? And it's like,
yeah.
And the thing is, I remember when we were speaking, you're like, oh yeah, I could do a 5k. It's like, I'm not doing a 5k, Johnny, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? Like, you didn't think you could do like a half marathon. But now we've pushed you to do that. Like, you're a little bit nervous, aren't you? And it's like, you've got to put the work in to do it, haven't you?
That's it. Yeah.
And you will smash it. I know you will. And when you've achieved that, you're like, flipping hell. And do you know what I mean? It's all uncertain. Even myself, like I'm doing the same half marathon as Johnny. Like, I've never done a half marathon. Do you know what I mean? Like, it scares the hell out of me. And I'm a rugby player, so I've taken myself outside that comfort zone. I'm not a runner. And so you need to search for these extrinsic things. And I know each of you want to do these things, but part of you is like, oh, I can't do it. So I won't do it in case of failure, but maybe you need that push, like that push a little bit. What's Amanda said here? I originally joined for weight loss, but then realized my mental health was in a worse state than I thought. Now I focus on how this program makes me feel. And when I eat better and work out, in turn, it helps me look better. Yeah. Exactly, and we need to get you in a strong enough mental state, like all of us, to be able to facilitate weight loss and fat loss and stuff, because you've all got real lives. Francis, I get this. I need to identify a challenge to force me to get back on the bike. Yeah, but Exactly. Yeah, you can do stuff like that, Francis. I know, like with you at the moment, you're going through quite a stressful time in your life. Do you know what I mean? Like a transition. But yeah, it could be something worth doing, like for like next year, even just planning next year. Do you know what I mean? Get something booked up, and it gives you loads of time then, but it gives you a reason to do things. Um, anyone else? There's a few new people who I think for the new people to listen to this, it's great because you will go through this. Do you know what I mean? And I think just being aware of it is massive, because sometimes you can get distorted and think you're failing and stop, but it's actually what you need to go through a little bit. Well, Gav, you're sitting there, they're quiet.
I'm man flu. That's why I'm sitting here quiet.
You're right.
No, I need a hug.
But
no, I've had a massively busy week this week. I thought I was sabotaging myself, but actually I wasn't. I normally kick myself when I'm down, like I've missed my fist and I've missed that, but I prioritised I think it was Wednesday, and so look, don't focus on that, just focus on what you got to do. Control your controllables. Because I live in between 2 and 4. I'm always in that plateau, and I get momentum, and I get busy, and then I get back, and I keep stepping forward. But what I've stopped doing now is kicking myself when I'm doing it. I just kind of ride through it and then look for the next week and push forward, push through it.
But I think with you is you think you live between 2 and 4, but like I remember you put something in the group last week that you were red, but when I spoke to you, you weren't actually red. And I think Ryan put in there as well.
Yeah,
I don't think you're red. It's just you think you're red, but you're actually
because I didn't do my sessions and stuff, and I feel like I haven't given 100%. So for me, that's my red. Yeah. But I have given 100% in other aspects of my life. So I was just looking through my food then, thinking I haven't actually eaten that bad. Yeah. So there is technically I should have said I was amber, but in my mind at the time I was red because I was so busy doing everything else. I'm not concentrating on the program where normally I'll be kicking myself saying getting really frustrated. I didn't this time. I've kind of like just got through it.
Yeah, and it's just being able to just stop for a second and take that minute and recognize that you're actually where you need to be. You're busy. Do you know what I mean? That is what it is.
If it wasn't for this program, I wouldn't be as focused as I am. I mean, my mental state is so good. I mean, I've literally smashed this week in such a positive way. I'm sat here now thinking, wow, that's a good me. I mean, it's this program that's done it for me. Yeah. Not just about fitness, not just about health. My mental health is just spot on.
But like next week, when you can push a bit harder, how much of a better position are you in? Do you know what I mean? And I think this is why it's almost good that you did flag yourself as red, because I think when you put that, you then realise actually, and it makes you feel even better then, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it did actually.
Yeah, and it's just sort of just recognising that you're going to have busy spells. You're going to get ill. You're going to be deadlines are going to come up. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It's about being like, okay, at the moment, this is where I'm at. And then when you're ready to push again. Any other shares? What's a phrase I said here? Humbling to hear other people's situations. I've really fallen into stage 3 the last 2 weeks, but yeah, helps to hear it's not just me and I can work through it. Yeah, exactly, Fraser. And if you just look at it as, I'm in stage 3, out of context, you can feel bad. But like, obviously I know with you, Fraser, there's stuff going on behind the scenes. That's why. It's not like you're in stage 3 for no reason. And equally, you'll have each of you, if you're in stage 3, if you really looked at why, there'll be context behind that reason. Do you know what I mean? Like I hit stage 3 because I come off the back of a holiday, dead relaxed, then fell ill, then rugby season end, and do you know what I mean? So there's actually a lot of reasons why I've gone into stage 3. So it's actually, you're just like, okay, well, if you took all them out, I probably wouldn't be there. So it's just one of them things. So always give context for the reason why. Like if you're in red, yeah, but like why? Like there is a reason. Like and when you can look at that, it's like, okay, yeah, well, if that wasn't there, I wouldn't be. So what am I going to do about it next? How can I maybe deal with things a little bit better? Cool, that was useful. Any other shares or asks or this is for you guys really. I don't want to keep you all day, but I want to make sure you leave here with like loads of value and you're sort of ready to go for the week really. Gavin, what do you call Gavin, another joke. What do you call a factory that makes okay products? Satisfactory. That's good. That's good, Gavin. Cheers. Just ruined the whole vibe. I was going deep there. Let me lie down. That's quite a good joke, that. Any other shares or asks, or is there anything that people need to get moving forward, or is there anything that people come across in the last week that might help others? I love awkward silence, so please fill it.
I actually used last week's coffee club, so the one with Holly, where she spoke about mindfulness, and obviously I've had quite a bad 2 weeks, but I found myself sort of last week in particular where I stopped and I thought about sort of being very present. So I looked at sort of 3 things in the room and sort of really thought about them as well, and sort of brought myself back into the room almost. So I think you almost feel as if you disappear into your own mind a little bit, and you need to come back into the room. So yeah, I just thought it was really helpful. I don't know if anyone else has used it.
Yeah, I actually tried it myself. I went on a walk and tried to be mindful. It's so hard, to be present. I think I started thinking about other stuff, but if you haven't watched Holly's talk, highly recommend it. Cheers for that share, Fraser. That's class.
It's absolutely brilliant. I used it a couple of times during the week, and it was a real lifesaver. I was literally hyperventilating. I was panicking so badly before a board meeting because so many things had to be done. And I only had like an hour and a half from 6 o'clock in the morning till 7:30 to get all this stuff done. And I was literally panting with anxiety. And I thought of Holly, and I stopped, and I decided what the priorities were, and I did the breathing. It was utterly brilliant. And I felt, after about 2 minutes, I felt completely in control. And you know what? I survived the morning perfectly well. No loss of life. I've still got 2 arms and 2 legs and a head. I'm in good shape.
Nice, Francis. Love that.
Her course was brilliant.
Yeah, amazing.
Really worth looking at it, worth watching again.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, I do highly recommend it. I am going to break it up so it's in more smaller chunks, so you can go straight to the bit that resonates with you rather than watching the whole hour. But highly I've tried a few things myself this week, so if you haven't watched that, definitely watch it. Cheers for that, Francis. Yolo, what's one advice people would give for someone on day one? Anyone else want to give Yolo some support? He's on day one.
You bet. I remember my day one with some embarrassment. And the lesson and the advice I would give is be accountable to Rob, and then be accountable to yourself is the next step, but be accountable. And it's a stunningly successful program, so long as we check in with Rob on a regular basis, that is, i.e. daily.
Yeah, that's it. Just touch base, isn't it? I think a lot of people learn that at certain points. Just reach out. I mean, I'm not looking for you to hit PBs and do world records. I just want you to be better than you were before. So just reach out. Cheers for that, Francis.
There's also no stupid questions.
Yeah, just ask loads in the group.
Ask.
And the great and worst thing about the group is there's so much support. The worst thing about the group is there's so much support, and you can think you can start comparing yourself to other people and scared to, but I don't work with idiots. I'm just going to put it out there. Do you know what I mean? If I don't like someone, I just won't work with them. So there's going to be no one in here that clicks with people. Otherwise I'll just get rid of them. And it hasn't happened yet, but I mean, so just almost do what you wouldn't do in the past. So in the past, you maybe would have kept a question to yourself because you feel it's a stupid question. Just ask it, because you're just going to move forward quicker. It can be overwhelming, but it doesn't matter. If it's day 1, 2, or 20, just get consistency, reset when you need to, and use the group for questions and advice. Yeah, that's it. And guys, not long finishes in 90 days. So yeah, just take what you need from it. Be a pest, and if in doubt, reach out. It's a nice little rhyme. Cool. Did I have some other stuff? Oh yeah. We have on the line Yolo, Vicky, Jamie. That's it. They're newbies, so everyone say hi. Hi, newbies. You have to
Welcome.
sing. There's a compulsory. You have to sing a karaoke now. So you've got 30 seconds. No, it's joking. You don't have to do that.
My internet connection's going poor. I don't know.
You're breaking up.
It's just gone. No, you don't have to do that. Yeah, I should do that, shouldn't I? Watch numbers dwindle. Yeah, so if you do need anything, everyone in here will help everyone. They're all in different levels. And next week we have a great talk on like carbs and stuff, like why they're really beneficial for your fat loss journey. I know there's a big misconception around carbohydrates, so especially with Christmas. So I want to teach you why they're really good for you, and how they are a fine addition. And the week after, Tony, who's not here, he's gone to watch some football team, Wrexham, I don't know who they are, but he's gone to watch them play footy. But he's doing a talk next week, like similar to John, on his transition from over the last 12 months, achieving his goal. So going to be incredibly insightful. And Tony was really low in confidence when he reached out to me. So let's all see if we can turn up and give him a little bit of support, cheer him on. And he'll share his lessons and stuff over the last 12 months. So yeah, that's it, guys. Unless you've got any questions, I will stop this here. Oh, shall we end on some Francis wisdom? And then I'll let you go. Go on, Francis.
I'm just going to say my second bit that I got from Holly in the week, which has worked so well for me, is deal with what's in front of me. Just be in the present. It is so much more constructive than, and it blocks out the anxiety about what I didn't do or what I've got to do tomorrow if I just deal with what's in front of me right now.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing.
Nice, Francis. Spot on. Love it.